Hey guys, it's Christopher Tom here, and today I want to talk about Kingdom Hearts. Everyone who knows me knows I'm not really a gamer, though I have played such classics such as Stuart Little 3 Big Photo Adventure and The Simpsons Road Rage.
Why do you keep hitting everything? Whee! Oh my heavens!
However, one game that always struck me as special was Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts sounds ridiculous on paper. Its premise, which I'll get more into in a minute, sounds more like the basis of an obscure fanfiction instead of a popular franchise. Really, who would have thought to pair Donald and Goofy up with a bunch of Final Fantasy characters? Either a really bored 13-year-old boy, or a genius. And given the massive success of the franchise, as well as how good the game is, I'm definitely leaning more towards genius for this one. As odd of a concept as it was to pair Disney and Final Fantasy characters together, it turned out really well and garnered huge critical acclaim. This game gave me many great memories. You get to play as the kid with the big shoes and save many worlds, all while meeting Disney characters. And if that doesn't sound like a dream come true to you, then I don't know what does, honestly. To simplify things, in Kingdom Hearts you play as the main character Sora, a 14-year-old boy who's just trying to find his friends. Along the way you run into many Disney and Final Fantasy characters as you explore the many worlds Kingdom Hearts has to offer, while standing against the evil Heartless. Now I recognize that what I just said might not make much sense to you if you're unfamiliar with the game, but I'll explain all of that soon. Although the Kingdom Hearts series is notorious for its complicated and confusing storyline, Kingdom Hearts 1 actually does a relatively good job of keeping things simple, while also setting the stage for more complicated plots in the future. And despite the simplicity of the storyline in this game, it still manages to be both really interesting and charming. I'll walk you through the main parts of the story to give you an idea. Sora and his two best friends, Riku and Kairi, live in a place called Destiny Islands. However, they want to leave Destiny Islands to explore some other worlds, so they build a raft. One day, creatures called the Heartless start to appear on Destiny Islands, and a massive hole of darkness starts to appear. These creatures called the Heartless play a very important role in the game, and they're the main enemies that you'll be fighting. Their purpose is to take everyone's hearts. Sora is chosen by a new weapon called the Keyblade, which he uses to fight the Heartless on the island. However, Riku is fascinated by the darkness, so he disappears into it. The hole of darkness I mentioned before then ends up totally sucking and eclipsing the island that Sora and his friends once lived on. Sora then gets transported to a place called Traverse Town, which functions as a sort of haven for those from worlds that have perished. This is also the part of the game where Donald and Goofy come in. Pluto's there too, but he doesn't really do anything, so nobody really cares about him. The reason Donald and Goofy are here is because the king, Mickey Mouse himself, sent them on a mission to find a man named Leon, as well as the person who holds the key. Mickey sent them on this mission with the purpose of fighting the emerging darkness that's happening because of the Heartless. Donald, Goofy, and this key bearer would seal the keyholes in every world and defeat the Heartless. Going back to the subject of Traverse Town, Sora encounters a bunch of Heartless. So after the fight with the Heartless, Sora runs into this guy called Leon. You may know him as Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. Leon isn't too happy that Sora has the Keyblade, so he does what any rational person would do, he fights him. This tough guy decides to go after a 14-year-old boy. Low-hanging fruit if you ask me, but hey, what do I know? Regardless of whether Sora wins or not, he ends up passing out. So Leon takes the common courtesy of dragging Sora while he's unconscious to a motel. Even more suspicious, but luckily, Leon's one of the good guys.
The Heartless?
Those without hearts.
The darkness in people's hearts. That's what attracts them.
And there is darkness within every heart.
There is darkness within every heart. Very deep, my dude. Make that your MySpace quote, would ya? Sora, Donald, and Goofy each learn about the devastating effects of the Heartless on the other worlds. They also learn about a man named Ansem and his reports. Ansem's reports are basically a bunch of pages that you can collect throughout the game. The subject of these reports are mostly centered on the Heartless and darkness as a whole, just all around edgy stuff. Sora, Donald, and Goofy then meet up.
Name's Goofy.
Leon and the gang gives us some money before we leave. Guess he wasn't so bad after all. This officially begins the start of Sora, Donald, and Goofy's adventures into a variety of different worlds. The general overarching story is a classic case of good versus evil. In this case, Sora, Donald, and Goofy are fighting against the evil Heartless. Anyone who's played this game can tell you that one of the major themes of it is darkness. You can tell because they mention darkness quite a bit. There's actually an entire video called How Many Times Was Dark Said in the Kingdom Hearts series. And as charming as the story can be at times, I have to admit that it can get a bit corny or silly, and that it can take itself a bit too seriously sometimes. The worlds that follow are a bit of a mixed bag, and different people seem to have different opinions on them. I'll touch upon some of them quickly here, just so you can get a general idea. After Traverse Town, you can either choose to go to the Olympus Coliseum or to Wonderland. And now we arrive at Wonderland. See, the thing is, I don't really like Wonderland. Whoa, it's like I'm big, but the room's really small. So upon learning that he's just too big, Sora and the gang decide to ingest some questionable substances that shrink them down to a reasonable size. You know what, now that I look back at it, this level wasn't very good. We also have Deep Jungle, a bit of a maze to navigate, but it's a pretty cool level overall. You get to kick it with Tarzan, so it's not too bad. Additionally, there's Agrabah in Halloween Town. If you are a fan of Aladdin or The Nightmare Before Christmas, then you're sure to enjoy these levels. There are many other worlds to explore, but because the purpose of this video is to look at the bigger picture, I'm not going to go into them. Now that you have a good enough idea of the storyline and what you're in for in Kingdom Hearts, let's go over some of the gameplay. The gameplay in Kingdom Hearts can best be described as simplistic. During battles and fights, you'll find yourself doing a lot of button mashing. However, despite the simplicity of the battle system, the gameplay remains fun and engaging. You can control the camera in the game by using the L and R buttons. Although they usually work well and get the job done sufficiently, the controls here are a bit flawed and sometimes can glitch out. Personally, I don't really have that much of an issue with them, but I know others do, and I can see why. One controversial aspect of Kingdom Hearts is the Gummy Ship. The Gummy Ship is how you navigate between worlds. The game gives you the ability to customize your own Gummy Ship using gummy blocks. Although some enjoyed this aspect of the game, others found it boring and plotting, claiming that it added nothing to the story and that the gameplay wasn't particularly captivating. Personally, I think it's alright, but it can get old easily, and I definitely understand and empathize with many of the criticisms leveled at it. This was eventually reworked in Kingdom Hearts 2, where the Gummy Ship feature was improved drastically in both gameplay and graphics. Another issue that Kingdom Hearts has in terms of gameplay is the inability to skip cutscenes. Although it could be argued that this adds an extra incentive to performing well in battle, it can prove to be exhausting to play in one sitting. Basically, every time you lose a boss battle, you have to go through the 3-minute cutscene all over again. And again, although you could say that it motivates me to win this time, it can get quite frustrating. Thankfully, like the Gummy Ship, this was also fixed in Kingdom Hearts 2, which is definitely a good thing because I swear that 99% of Kingdom Hearts 2 is just cutscenes, and I liked that game. The soundtrack to Kingdom Hearts was composed by Yoko Shimomura. She did a fantastic job scoring the game. The music suits the atmosphere of the different worlds very well, and many of the pieces composed for the game are genuinely beautiful. It's safe to say that Yoko Shimomura's soundtrack played a crucial part in bringing Kingdom Hearts to life, and helping the player immerse themselves in the world of Kingdom Hearts. The music was grand and haunting when it needed to be, and beautifully poignant in the more tender moments of the game. One of Kingdom Hearts' big strengths is the intertwining of Disney and Final Fantasy characters. Disney and Final Fantasy already have established fan bases and stories that Kingdom Hearts can play off with ease, and because so many of us grew up with Disney movies and/or Final Fantasy games, Kingdom Hearts is able to tap into our memories of them and our childhood nostalgia, and channel that into a story that can deeply resonate with us. However, I'd personally argue that the story of Kingdom Hearts is rich enough that you don't need any previous personal connection to Disney or Final Fantasy. While the characters from those franchises certainly enhance the game, it's the original characters that make the game what it is. A large part of the likability of the game is the main character Sora. Besides Sora's abilities with his weapon, the Keyblade, he's really just a good guy. After a while you start to feel endeared to him. I don't know if it's the shoes or the hair, and believe me, that is quite the hairdo that Sora has there, but Sora is just a likable character. It's this personal connection to the characters that help us feel part of the Kingdom Hearts universe. All in all, Kingdom Hearts isn't perfect. But if you overlook its flaws, you'll find that the game has a lot of heart. This game resonates with you. Its immersive universe, endearing characters, and charming storyline make Kingdom Hearts a fantastic experience that's hard to forget. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's definitely different from what I'm used to making, and I'll see you next time.